You want anybody else? One more? Okay. Oh, no worries at all. Please, yeah, feel free. Hopefully that's not. What's that? Okay, you guys. Welcome. Oh, good to see you. How are you? Great, great. So wherever you'd like. All right, you guys, welcome to the first full moon class of 2025. So if we could all just stand up for just less than a minute, I promise you guys. So there's a lot of places, you know, we're all coming from different places, whether you came from work, whether you came from seeing your family, whatever it is. So just let's shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Try to get your heels to slam down on the floor. Shake, 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 shake. In astrology, that's not until the spring equinox. That's why it might feel a little clunky setting those New Year's resolutions around this time. In this practice, or the practice that has worked best for me, is aligning your body with the seasons. Who are we to go against nature? What is more active in the winter? Everything in nature goes inwards in the midst of winter. It's quiet. It's the yin. It's the most feminine of all of the seasons, right? This is when you can really tap into your inner goddess. Regardless of if you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter, whatever you identify as. We all have both of the archetypes within us. But this time of year, it's really about reflecting, reviewing, spending more time inside. That's normal. Don't force yourself to go out too much when it's like in the winter time. Give yourself that time to really get to know yourself. Who are you without stimulation? Who are you when you're not with someone else? Who are you when you're just with yourself, right? So it's like, this is really the time where we can reap the benefits of that, reap the magic so much more deeply, right? So in the winter time, we're working with the kidneys, we're working with the water element, we're working with our ancestral roots. So we're constantly trying to move the waters in our body. We don't want to dry up our kidneys, dry up our chi. So there's certain movements and practices that we'll be doing today that will align with the seasons. But before we get into all of the movement portion of this practice, I did want to just say, if you've been here before to Moon Mystics, you guys probably know that this class normally runs a little bit late. So we're doing something a little bit different this year. We're trying to make this type of class a little bit more of an express style class. So we're gonna try to keep it at that hour mark. It might go over a little bit. I'm gonna try my best not to let it get to like an hour and a half. That's gonna be the max, but of course, this is your time. You honor your time, your schedule. I'm gonna try to keep this just no later than 10. So 9:30, 9:45. We'll be having our full-length classes with the activity. We normally do like an activity at the end. We're going to be saving those for the equinoxes and the solstices. So we'll be doing like a specialty class there that will start earlier on a Saturday. And that way it can give more people an opportunity to experience that. Because I know like the full moon, she's going to come whenever she wants to come. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, work day, doesn't matter. She's here. So for us to like really gather on this day, we're just going to try to make this a little bit shorter. So we're going to go over the energy. We're going to get into a flow. We're going to, I think I mentioned to most of you guys here that we're going to be utilizing the chair today. I'm very excited that we're really going to work in our hips, really going to work in our kidneys. We're going to feel so, so good after. But it is going to be more of an express style class. At the end of the day, the things that we're going to do today, you could literally spend like a 4-hour marathon doing between like looking into astrology, pulling cards, spending an hour on yoga, an hour on breath work, an hour in meditation. But we're not going to do, we're going to do like, you're still going to get all the benefits. So, okay, Cancer full moon, Capricorn season. Do we have any Capricorns? Any? No? No Capricorns. Okay, any Cancers? Ooh, you watch out for the Cancers. You don't want to fight them. Don't get on their bad side. Cancers are tough. You guys are so resilient, right? So the energy right now, Cancer is the mother, right? It's like it's the womb. She's like one of the most yin signs there is, even though it is a cardinal energy. So Cancer isn't afraid to start and pioneer something new and to really stand up for the things that they value. That is what Cancer stands for. You do not mess with a Cancer's loved ones. You just don't. It's like messing with a mama bear. You just don't do that. You know? So this is the energy that we're working with, and we do have a lot of like watery energy. Before I talk about the full moon, I wanted to bring up a big change that we just had on the 11th of January. So the nodes of the moon shifted. So just to clarify, in astrology, there's a north node and a south node. These are not planetary bodies. This is actual mathematical points of where the moon's orbit crosses the sun's orbit. And they're always going to be opposing. And these are going to dictate the eclipses that happen every year, around March and around November. So eclipses are going to be pivotal moments and pivotal themes that we experience within an 18th month period. Because every 18 months, the nodes shift signs. The north node could be seen as like our North Star. It's almost like our destiny. It's something that collectively we are moving towards. In your personal birth chart, your north node is something you are moving towards, right? Now your south node is always going to be 180 degrees, exactly opposite of your north node. So we just ended a period where Aries was in the north node and Libra was in the south node. Our south node is going to be where we are familiar. This is not something that we're looking to completely leave behind, but we're looking to hold on to the positive growth that we received for that archetype and bring that in to the energy of the north node. And we're really being asked to work with that energy. So Aries and Libra plays a lot on independence versus codependency, right? It's like, you know, for you, for me. It's the self versus others. So we were playing around with this theme for 18 months. So now we have shifted to Pisces, Virgo. So for the next 18 months, we collectively are moving towards the archetype of Pisces. So Pisces is a beautiful sign. It is the 12th sign of the zodiac, so it is the last of them all. It is the closest to source, so to say, and it is very dreamy. It's very imaginative. Also can be very delusional, almost like an escape, always wanting to escape reality. But that same energy, that imagination, like Pisces can create anything with their imagination. And we all have this energy within us. Whether you have it actually in a planet or not, you have it within your chart that affects a particular house in your astrology birth chart. So we all can tap into the Pisces energy. But collectively, we are moving towards more spirituality. We're moving towards the heart center, away from the mind. We have worked so much in the mind, and we have boxed ourselves in to what is known, to what is seen. So Pisces asks you to look outside of the realm of what you already thought was possible. What is beyond that? What can you create that you've never even envisioned before? What can we create as a society that we've never even envisioned before? And for the next 20-ish years until 2043, we just had the big shift in Pluto. We talked about this in the last couple moon mystics of 2024. Pluto had the shift in Aquarius. It was in where it's a huge change when we shift into that energy from Capricorn to Aquarius. We're going to be in it for the next until March of 2043. And during this collective shift, we are really working on more humanitarian efforts, more sovereignty for the people. So this is why there's a lot of things going on where you're seeing this power shift, this dynamic shifting, right? It can look very chaotic on the surface, but you have to be able to see the bigger picture and everything. If something is dysfunctional, it's going to need to fall for something better to take place. And people who are able to hold the high vibration for the future are able to anchor in these timelines that are beyond our wildest imaginations. Right now and always, but this is especially highlighted right now, and I think we have a larger capacity to tap into this. Our focus, our attention is the most valuable thing that we have. Everything is trying to take your attention. Everything, every commercial, every ad, everything on social media, every brand, everything is just trying to siphon your attention. And where you put your focus is what you grow in your life, right? So when we focus so much on negativity, we tend to breed more of that. The universe isn't punishing you. The universe mirrors back to you what you are. It is just a mirror. It is non-bias, right? So if you don't like something that you see, how can we go inward and review and reflect and see what is new that we can create? Are we able to look beyond what is and see the beauty in the world? Will you allow yourself to sit in meditation, stare at a candle, even for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? Try to increase that time, every day. Can you just sit there and refuse to have a negative thought? Can you sit there and if you have a negative thought, you let it go and you deliberately choose to focus on a more positive thought? Can you do that, right? It's self-control. It's developing that muscle. It's developing that muscle that maybe we haven't worked on before. So you can't beat yourself up when you're not able to hold that focus for very long. But just try again. Get together with other people and see if you can hold the frequency of light together. Know that you are immensely powerful. You are immensely powerful when you tap into your intuition. There may be a lot of illusion that pops up this year. A lot of things where you're asking yourself, is this real? Is it not? Is it AI? Is this a real video? There's a lot of things that are going to be making you question what is real and what is not. And your mind will not be able to give you the answers, but your heart will. So work on strengthening your intuition muscle. Work on trusting your nudges. Work on understanding the difference between intuition and fear, because those are very different things. They're very different things. Intuition is never going to make you feel so scared. Even if it's something drastic that it's asking you to do that is quote unquote like scary, you will not feel scared if it is intuition. It will be like this surety that you feel. It will be so certain, like, oh, this is what I have to do. Okay, right? So learn to listen to that more. Listen to it with easy things, and it will get easier with the bigger topics that come up through your intuition. Listen to your dreams. Journal about your dreams. What symbols are coming up for you? What do they mean to you? What feelings come up when you see certain animals that maybe you've been noticing a lot, or certain numbers? Like what do you feel when you see these synchronicities in life that are just perfectly orchestrated for you on your path? So just give yourself these little moments, right? Really, really tap into that heart. Ask yourself what you can release, of course. As cliche as that sounds, there's always room for us to empty so that we can bring more of what we need in, but we have to create that space. And that's why we do the yoga, we do the breath work. It's not about becoming flexible or whatever, it's about creating space, creating presence in your body, right? So anything that you can do to cultivate that spaciousness, anything that you can do to find that peace. And know that you're human. Like, I've been very emotional the last few days. I don't know about you guys, but this Cancer full moon, I have been a little bit crazy. And I've been letting myself be that way. I'm like, you know what? Oh, today. And just know the program. The more you are aware of the program that you are in, the more you're aware of the perfection, the mathematical perfection of everything, from a snowflake to a flower and the petals, to your body and its proportions, to nature. Like, everything is so perfect. Notice the program, and you can transcend the program. As soon as you're observing the program, you can no longer fall victim to the program. So if you know the energy is calling for intensified emotions, be easy with yourself when you feel intensified emotions. Let it be. Don't hate yourself. Don't feel broken, because that's the biggest issue. The emotion isn't the issue. It's how you feel about the emotion. It's how you judge yourself about the emotion, right? That is really the problem. The crying or the anger or whatever, that's not the issue. It's what goes on in your mind as you think about that, as you try to analytically break it down in your mind. Don't break it down in your mind. Feel it in your body. Let it go. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense to your logical mind. You're not here to make sense. You are so far larger than anything that could ever make sense to your brain. Because what you are is bigger than your brain. You are infinite consciousness here experiencing life as a physical being. Of course, you do not have the software to be able to conceptualize everything that you are. So of course it's not going to make sense. If it did make sense, then that doesn't make sense. So just know, as long as it doesn't make sense, and that makes sense. Does that make sense? So be easy with yourself. You're human. You are a very powerful human because you're so much more than a human. Your mind can create things that your mind could never. Your heart can create things that your mind could never. But your mind is a tool. We're not demonizing the mind, okay? The mind is a beautiful tool. We need it. But your mind works for you. I say this all the time in this class. Your mind works for your heart. Your heart does not work for your mind. Your heart is in the driver's seat. Well, your mind is in the driver's seat. Your heart is telling the driver where to go. Because your mind's going to do the things, right? But your heart made the decision. It's the ultimate ruler at the top. So notice the shifts in your body, like how differently that feels to know. And like realize that your whole life is just one perspective shift away from being an entirely new life. Nothing else has to change. Just a simple shift in perspective. Because everything is right. There's a story I was reminded of. It's like the blind men and the elephant. Have you guys heard of this story? It's like 10 blind men. Have you heard of this? It's like, so I'm gonna do my best to describe this story. So 10 blind men are in front of an elephant. They don't know that it's an elephant, but they've been tasked with the job of describing what it is that's in front of them. So they're all touching this elephant in front of them, and someone is like, oh, it's very like flabby and big, because he's holding onto the ear. And someone is like, the other guy is like, no, it's like a long columns, because he's feeling the foot area. Someone is like, no, it's a very like large, area, because they're like feeling the surface of the elephant, right? And it's like they're all fighting with each other. It's like, no, I'm right. They're all blind. They're all right. They are all right. You're just seeing one piece of it. They're just a portion of the truth, right? So know that that's how our brain is when it looks at this reality. You're not seeing it all. You're just seeing part of it. And your beliefs are the same thing. Sometimes like your belief might be true, but there's another perspective that you could just fully live with, and that will also be true. It's like, well, if you have two true things in front of you, You get the choice to focus on which one is the truth that you want to focus on. Pick the one that feels better. Pick the one that's going to take you where you want to go. Just because one version is true does not deserve your attention. Something that is true does not deserve your focus. That is not a good enough reason for a conscious creator. That is just simply not a good enough reason. It is not about what is true. Everything is true. Everything you want to believe in will be true, I promise you. Anything you want to believe in, you want to look into, sorry, I need some water, you will find truth to. It's really all about perspective. Excuse me. So one quick thing I want to talk about, because I know I can talk for a long time. So right now we do have Mars in retrograde. Mars is a planet of action, it's a planet of war, it's a planet of aggression, it rules Aries, it rules Scorpio. Mars is that feeling you have when you're like, I'm gonna get up and do that thing. When you feel that's Mars activating you, right? So when Mars is retrograde, you feel this a little bit more like inside out. So you might not feel that fireness to do things as much right now, and that is normal. You're not meant to. Take this as a time to review your motivations for your action. Anytime something is in retrograde, my favorite thing that as a little reminder of how to view retrogrades is take the RE in retrograde, RE, review, retreat, redo. It's not bad. It's just like, it's when the planet appears to be going backwards or never going backwards, but it appears to be going backwards from our perspective. That's when a planet is retrograde, but it does have an effect on us collectively. So if you don't feel that fire, that is okay. It is normal. It will go direct on February, I think February 23rd. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty positive. February 23rd, it will go direct, and you should feel that. You should feel like a little bit of a boost around that time. So that is our energy right now. There's a lot of supportive energy. There's a little bit of tension. Every full moon, there's an opposition. Every full moon, the sun is 180 degrees away from the sun. So there's that polarity going on, right? Activates those two opposite ends of the spectrum. Capricorn, your status, your career, your legacy. And Cancer, your home, your embodiment, your family, right? Balance between these two. Very important things. You're not throwing away one and going to the other, but these are highlighted right now. Your family dynamics are very highlighted right now. So if you are having household tension, that is normal. Household tension. Ask it what it is trying to show you. Ask it. Sit with yourself. What is this trying to teach me? Because your brain, what is it going to do when you're feeling tension? Your brain is just going to go over the same bullshit it always goes over. They did this and that happened and da-da-da, and this is true and that is true and this is true and I actually experienced this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You have to create a new story. Ask yourself. Get out of that. You teach yourself. What is this trying to show me? How can I see this differently? What is this trying to teach me? Everything is what is this trying to teach me, not why is this happening to me? These are very, very different frequencies. Some might say, oh, it's the same question. It's not the same question. It's a valid response to something that you feel, but just notice the difference in vibration of the way you react to certain things in your life. Learn to respond. Give yourself a second. You know? And don't demonize your anger. That's the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with. Don't demonize your anger. If you are in despair and you start to feel angry, know that that is a step above despair. It doesn't matter if people around you are pissed off. Know that you are moving up that ladder. And that is good, because one step ahead of where we were is all we're looking to do. Just one little baby step. If you are feeling like everything is crumbling down, don't force yourself to feel really happy. Don't force yourself to feel really happy. Try to get to like because that's better than despair, like feeling like whatever about everything, right? And just move up little by little, step by step. And each step you ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? What can I do differently? What can I focus on in a new way? This person is really bothering me. How can I still see them with light despite that? How can I still not let people walk all over me, not overstep my boundaries, but still be able to see things through the lens of light? So, full moon in Cancer, wolf moon. Before we get into the yoga flow, I wanted everybody to just kind of pull their own card. We did this last time and I kind of liked it. So I do have the book there. I would encourage you to just kind of come up, pick a card, see if it brings up anything for you when you see it, and then look through the book and you can read the little excerpt from there and see how you resonate with that. But I always like to just give yourself a moment and see like what the spirit animal in the deck brings up for you. If you want, it is optional. So feel free to do so. And I think that is our chairs getting. And I know we normally do a release ceremony, so just for time's sake, we're gonna just do a manifestation ceremony as the last thing today. So you guys will still burn something on your way out. It's not really bad, you know. Like,
a spider? A big tarantula?
Spider is a good one.
It's cool. It's a good one.
If you don't resonate with it, then read it. I mean, pull another one for location. That's what I normally do. I need a little bit more.
My son works in my lap.
Really? So that probably if that's the first thing that comes to your mind. That's what that means. That's why I always tell people, see what it brings up for you before you read the book. Maybe there's a little bit of both, but right now the family is very highlighted.
Yeah.
The family is very highlighted. All the dynamics.
It was last time too, my son.
I'm so sorry.
That's what came to my mind. Because he yelled at me. My son.
Do you want me to hold? Oh, no, it's fine.
And they're not in alphabetical order in that book. They're organized by your elements. So the little top of the card, like that's a fire card, so you have to look at the fire element. And you're today not dancing though. If you want that. You can
Oh, here's yours. I found yours.
We're gonna still do those on like the solstices and the equinox. It's just like, yeah. And I just feel like I know. And the thing is, like, that's how much I use. Really, like, the thing is like when I do my practices, I mean, of course, not every day, but like my ideal is like having 4 hours to do my from just waking up to gathering myself, doing maybe an initial meditation. It's like, this is not my ideal morning, right? Pulling cards, doing a yoga flow for an hour, doing breath work for an hour, doing meditation for an hour.
Does it resonate?
Easily 4 hours. I get the shower, get ready, make tea, make breakfast and all that, and lunch, whatever. But and then your day looks like half of it. You know, sometimes we're the best. You gotta wake up early and stuff, but yeah. Give yourself like an hour before they.
That's for sure. Can't see.
Give yourself an hour and just see what you for your day. Yeah. Pray for you. Water and water.
Like the wind? Resonate with that more? This is so on point for right now. Let's find the wheel. Oh, you were looking for a bunny?
I think we need 3 more.
I'll grab some from the outside closet.
Maybe I'll just It's so bad.
I'm trying to think of where I'm gonna set up to show you guys. Probably here. Hope you guys can still see me. Move everybody.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Don't mind me. I love it. What did everybody get? Oh, I just got turtle recently.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Oh, the earthworm. I love that. I always know what's going on with me when I get an earthworm.
Yeah.
I always know.
Mine was perfect.
Oh,
Oh,
I
wow.
love the whale.
Did you want? Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Stingray. You know, I put stingray and earthworm energy are very similar to me. I always know I have a very I wake up feeling a very specific way when I get those cards, and I always kind of get them like either back to back or like day after each other. Yeah, they're sweet, honestly. They're.
I got a black egg.
Ooh, that's a spirit card.
So what does that mean?
So the spirit cards are a little more otherworldly. They're going to be in the back of that deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
18 plus section.
Yes, no. Those are. I feel it's always giving 12th house energy, like Pisces energy. It's like other realm. Oh, thank you for giving me. I need. Wait, actually, I guess that's Switzerland. Oh, actually, no. They need one more because I'm. Oh. Okay, I need two.
You did. Oh, stingray.
Two. Okay, so we'll need one more chair over here. This one is mine. That one is theirs. Or, actually, I'll give this one to them. It's easier.
There you go.
I'll take her.
Chair shuffle.
Cheers.
Sweet. Okay, I hope everyone can see it. We are past it, so I was
Earthworm, I always feel so it's when I have reluctancy. And I have reluctancy. It's like there's a little shyness, there's a little reluctancy, and it's more like earthy. Speak up anyway. That's that energy I feel like it's very like sweet. I feel like it's like it's very innocent. It's not like some of the cards, of course, are a little bit more intense. Like I know, like when I get like fire ant here, I always know like, ooh, I'm spicy. Maybe too spicy. Like there's cards that can call it straight you out, but that one is more like
it's down your brother card? That's pretty cool.
you know, just speak up, risk embarrassment. I think it's something it says on that card. But yeah, that's always what I feel in my body. Yeah, this is one of my favorite decks.
If you connect with the studio on Instagram, I look on my personal Instagram and try and find the witchy girls that I met at Strange Fest 2 years ago too, and see if I can connect y'all.
That would be so cool. This is my best friend. I'm telling her I've never been to anything like this in the 2 years that I've done spirituality. So this is my first like in person.
It's not a cult.
It's a cult.
I came from Christianity, so I
That's the real cult. Yeah, I stopped. Yeah, I pulled a the clarification one, because at first I was like, I feel like Campbell's not very glamorous.
No, Campbell's amazing. I love
feel
Camel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
What's your first? It kind of reminded me of your longer picture where
you
he's
have
like
very like regal masculine energy. Wolf is like the gentle father, like the sweet. Camel is resiliency. You got everything you need to go through. Yeah. You know, whatever you're going through, you got this. Maybe embody more of like that divine masculine energy. I know we're in the feminine, but that I see like divine masculine. What is that within you? Like, where does that feel in your body?
Yeah, I could definitely stand to put a little more structure into my routines.
Yeah. But it's a good leader. It's a good teacher. Teacher, leader. It almost gives like sophisticated Sag. I feel like Sag vibes. Like I don't know. That just kind of came to me for some reason for the fox.
Midhaven, Sagittarius.
See, there you go. I don't know. That's just like what popped up for very appropriate. Feel free to take pictures. Would you get beaver? Beaver the coon?
Oh yeah,
You're right. Oh, I know this one's for me. She's for me. Elk. Masculine too. You'd be a little more manly today.
Wait, she got the deer.
Deer is like very feminine. That's the mother.
Yeah.
Aries, Libra.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's very obvious.
Hey, over
Aries,
there.
Libra, like.
When you said it's now Virgo, Pisces, and it's a Cancer full moon, I was like,
Because you have them all. Yeah.
No,
well, you
I
have Gemini.
have
So much Gemini. Yes.
Gemini, Scorpio, and Aquarius.
Yes.
So I have
You don't have.
It's
Scorpio. I remember.
Cancer, Mercury.
Okay, that's what it was. I was like, I swear there was like something. Okay, yeah, the Cancer Mercury makes sense. I have a water Mercury too, so I feel like I'm a very emotional communicator and I talk in riddles, so it don't always make sense.
My older brother is like very logic-based.
Yeah.
He's like,
Probably
sometimes
Earth,
he'll be
Mercury.
Like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
You're not supposed to make sense to him. That's
it
okay.
makes perfect.
Yeah, it makes sense that you don't make sense. Sometimes you just gotta like leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. Can't even explain it.
So did you guys resonate with your cards? Yes. Oh, and sometimes it'll just amplify more. Like it'll be like in the middle of the night, and you'll be like, oh, I know why I got that card. You know, it'll just like make sense. You know, it's like sometimes sometimes I do get cards, and I'm like, you know, or I'm like, let me pull something else, and then it's like, oh, now I get it. You know, just gotta be open to listening, whatever the message is. I love it. You can if you want to. Yeah. You can take your time. That's that book. Okay, so let me try to keep us on track, you guys. I feel like I can just go on for a really long time because I really do feel like as humans, we just need this more than ever. Most people don't give themselves even a minute to like not think about anything else. But I do understand that it is a Monday and some people have to wake up early, so. If anybody's ever interested in doing like a 4 or 5 hour long thing, maybe we can chat later and figure something out at some time. I know that's really long. We would obviously make it with breaks and stuff. It'd be like some sort of like day retreat or something. But I do feel like we need that every once in a while, where you have the full hour of yoga, you have the full hour or at least 30 minutes of breath work and then meditation and, you know, have some tea, whatever, right? Pull cards, talk about energy, you know, journal. Like there's so many things you can do to self-care, right? And it's like, you gotta give yourself some time. So, like give yourself whatever you can. 5-10 minutes is really all you need. There's a lot of things that we're gonna do today that you can do for 5-10 minutes and you will feel immensely different. Even if it's just a shaking, slamming your heels down, slamming your heels down, slamming your heels down. Jump up and down, right? And then like slow your breath down. Like, that's amazing. So it's always, it'll take you out of anything. Okay, so we are gonna work in the kidneys, we're gonna work in the hips, and my favorite thing to do, I almost will never sit without a block under me, at least to elevate the hips, because we collectively have a problem with our hips. We tend to either sit back on our tail, right? Or we tend to collapse into our, overarch and just collapse into our forward body, when really we have to learn how to lift the pelvic floor, keep that natural wave in the spine, right? And lift your booty up, right? We're so closed off back there. So we gotta learn how to roll our leg bones in, open your butt bones apart, sit elevated. Make sure that there's always a line that you are drawing from the universe through your skull, through your throat, through your torso, through your perineum, down into the center of the earth. Know that your perineum has to face the earth at all times when you're sitting down. So if you're doing this, it's facing that way. You're doing this, it's facing that way. We want it to go whoosh, right down. So let us actually start in the chair. Bring the chair somewhere comfortable. I know there's like mats or whatever, so I'm gonna give you guys a second. We're gonna be moving kind of this chair around in this practice. This is perfect. When you're feeling tight, or if you're overly flexible, get a chair. Use it as a boundary. I love doing my breath work in a chair because breath work is one of those things where it is the most taxing for me. That is the thing that you could say I need the most work at really developing that lung capacity. So it's something where I make sure that it is the most conducive environment for me to be able to, go through that. Sitting up on a chair makes me sure that I can stay in that alignment while seated. So while we're sitting down, look at your feet. What are they doing? Just naturally, what are they doing? Are your toes pointed outwards? Are your toes pointed really in? Just notice. Just notice how your feet are. Kind of shift a little forward so you're not all the way on the back, because we are going to be doing a little bit of like seated cat-cows here. Bring 2 fists in between the arches of your feet. And if it can't reach all the way down there, just visualize it. Now when the 2 fists fit in between your feet, move your big toes in just slightly so they're slightly pigeon-toed. So your second toe and your second toe are going to be parallel with each other, and then parallel with the sides of your mat if you were sitting on a mat. And then between your knees, see if your knees, are they splayed out? Measure. Another thing that you can do, this is another thing, if you're having a hard time keeping your knees like this, you can always put a block and hold it with your legs, and that will kind of force you to stay there, and then strap your leg bones together so you can learn what that feels like. Try to keep it actually this way on the second setting. Yeah, perfect. Do you want a let me I don't have enough straps. I'm so sorry, but anybody who wants a strap, please feel free to use it. No. I do want to show everybody. I don't know what we're talking about here. So clip yourself in, buckle yourself in. Actually, it's easier if we put this a little more there. Put that here, tighten it. Make sure that your feet are still where they are, and that way you can relax into it. You don't have to force yourself mentally to keep those knees together. Now that is what you can do when you're in standing postures, when you're in forward folds, anything where you need your feet hip distance apart. So I know I'm spending a lot of time on just sitting down, because this is the crucial thing about a practice. There's a lot of practices out there in yoga that are so arbitrary and very feeling based. That is not the style of yoga that I like to practice. This is working with the archetypes of the body. We're working with the natural proportions of you. You are your ruler, and you are perfectly proportioned for yourself, right? So there are geometric patterns in our body that we know we're striving for, whether we reach that or not, but you can always tell where you are in the universe if you learn how you're supposed to be stationed, right? So if you notice that your feet are always like this, you are likely someone who collapses into your lower back. You're drying out your kidneys there. You're drying out, you might have a lot of unnecessary fear, unnecessary anxieties, right? How you set your body up, your body is a reflection of the mind. It is just an extension. It is the same thing. What is in your body is in your mind. Your mind will hide things from you, your body will not. So making sure, again, that we are sitting in the center of ourselves, that we are lifting from our pelvic floor. Our perineum is facing downward. There's a natural arch in our lower back, and pull your head back in space. Roll your shoulder blades down your back. Make sure that your shoulder blades aren't protruding out, that you're not sticking out, flaring out your rib cage. Bring your sternum back in space. There's always a part of you moving forward and a part of you moving backwards. At all times, you are going in polar opposite directions in your body. Feel that in your body, and feel yourself when you find that center. Draw the line again. The universe through your skull, through your throat, through your torso, through your perineum, down into the center of the earth. Feel that natural center of your body. And once you get there, feel how it almost feels like you're floating. Like there's no more muscles trying to hold you up. You're just floating in this posture because it is in perfect alignment with you. Now you can put your hands on your knees just for a second. Just take a second to breathe. We're actually going to start off our practice with alternate nostril breathing in this position. So you can take your right hand or your left hand if you're left-handed, whatever's more comfortable, and your index finger and your middle finger can go in between your eyebrows, and you're going to be using your thumb as well as your ring finger to alternate closing between your right nostril and your left nostril. So first, let us begin by taking a deep breath in through both nostrils and a deep breath out through both nostrils. Very good. Now use your thumb, close the right. Now inhale through the left, close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale right, close the right nostril, exhale left. Inhale left, close that nostril, exhale right. Inhale right, close, exhale left. Now do 3 more rounds of this. Just listen to your breath as you do it. Go at your speed. Anytime we can hear our breath, it soothes our kidneys. It makes us feel safe. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, listen to your breath. And when you're ready, just release your hand back down. So we're going to go into a neck stretch. There's going to be a little bit of a wrist stretch here too. So a lot of times when we are stretching our neck, there's a lot of things I see that aren't the best for how our neck is meant to move around. One, if you are just bringing your ear to shoulder and you hike your shoulder up, you're not going to get the benefits. So what's really important is making sure that our shoulders stay perfectly aligned, perfectly in our back, not protruded out, not having our ribs flaring out, finding that centeredness in our body, and then doing the stretch. So a great way to do this is take your right hand, we're going to start with the right, and place it on your side so that your middle finger is basically like grazing your hip bone. And see if you can bring that elbow. You don't want it too far back, you don't want it too far forward. You're almost envisioning that you are in between like these 2 glass panels, okay? So do this. Now you can use your your left hand and almost hold that hand in place. And now from here, go ahead and inhale through your nose. And on the exhale, bring your ear closer to your right shoulder. And again, just watch that elbow. What is it doing? Is it trying to move around? Try to keep that centered. Feel that stretch in the left part of your neck. Now inhale again, and while you're still with your head tilted like this, bring your nose closer to your right shoulder. Feel that stretch. Now bring your nose back. Again, inhale, nose to shoulder. Exhale, back up. Very good. Now just shake that hand out a little bit. Over time, you can work on flipping your wrist, having your armpit, your middle finger actually go almost inside your armpit, and doing it like this. But if you're not here yet, that is okay. We're just gonna do it like this. You're still gonna get your stretch. Eventually though, your hand will be able to fit in your armpit all the way up. But there's a lot of wrist stretches and things that you can work on. We're not going to get into all of that today, but we'll get into it in other classes. And if you've been to any of my other yoga flows, we've done some wrist stretches. So working on that mobility is something good to work on. Now let's do the other side. So again, left fingertips are barely grazing your hip bone. You're in between these two sheets of glass. You can just do it on one side for now, and that way you can use your right hand and just hold your left hand in place. Really anchor it in so that it doesn't want to like jerk up and down, okay? Just keep that level. And then again, take an inhale in and exhale. Just bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Just feel that stretch. It's subtle, but depending on the day, you'll feel it more or less, depending on how tight you are, how tight your shoulders are. Inhale again and bring your nose to your shoulder. Exhale, back up. Nose to the left shoulder. Exhale, back up. Nose to left shoulder. Exhale, back up. Very good. Now, if you want to do both hands, feel free, or if you feel confident in flipping your wrist, sometimes I have to kind of help my hand up there. Again, making sure that you're pulling your sternum back in space, but you're not, and you don't have your shoulder blades like jutting out behind you. Everything is just kind of aligned with your rib cage. And again, make sure that you're sitting properly, make sure that your feet are still hip distance apart, your knees are still hip distance apart. And just like from here, bring your right ear to your right shoulder and just go in a half circle. Do not tilt your head back. You're only gonna go in half circles. Tilting your head back is very bad for your discs. So just, you can kind of go back and forth like this. Really just feel where there's tightness. Maybe you can even like spend a little extra time going back and forth over an area that might feel a little tight. One more time. Very good. Now you can just shake it out. Shake out your wrists. Awesome. Okay. So let us get into, so we're gonna be kind of going on and off the chair. I wanna release our hip joint now, release our sacrum. So bring your, you guys should be fine. You should be able to actually lay on the mat. So basically, you wanna have your chair in front of you. Everybody needs to have a block. And we each have like 6 blocks, but we're gonna work with what you got. You can always work with what you have. Thank you, thank you. These wooden ones are a little bit more intense, but I really like them. Everyone has a block? Yes, awesome. Okay, so using the chair in your practice is revolutionary. It really is. Okay. So first, we are just going to lay down on our back. We're going to put our legs on the chair. Lay down. I'm going to give you all a second to find your perfect. You can bring the chair a little bit closer to your eventually we will try, at one point we're going to try to hold on to the legs of the chair. You don't have to. We're going to do what we can. Okay, so give yourself a moment here. This alone without a block is great. This immediately takes that pressure off of your lower body. It allows fluid to drain from your hip joint, flushes everything out. That's even juicier. Grab your block, lift. You can put your feet kind of, or your heels, dig them into the chair and just lift your hips up and place that block underneath your sacral plate. Now, when the block is underneath your sacral plate, you are gonna have part of your booty going over the block, because just a little bit. So you don't want it too high up on your back. You want to feel that it's supporting the natural wave of your lower spine. There's always going to be a little bit of a wave there. So this is perfect for if we're constantly sitting back on our hip bone, right? Or if we're always collapsing into our front of our body. That means that there's something that's tight. Maybe your psoas are tight, right? When your psoas is tight from sitting down all the time, you have a hard time moving around. You have a hard time really getting into that hip joint. So I really feel that release. Feel yourself. Make sure again that a little bit of your booty, just a little bit, not too much. You're not your whole booty is hanging off of the front of the block, but just a little bit. You can feel that there's that slight tilt, right? And just begin to take deep breaths here. Breathing in, feeling your belly rise. Maybe you even want to put a hand on your belly. Just feel your belly rise with the inhale and fall with the exhale. Very good. Rising with the inhale, falling with the exhale. Just notice your breath, notice your heartbeat. Very good. Okay. Now these are poses at home that you can sit in for a very long time. I recommend, if you're starting a practice, to always start with something very restorative before you get into any heat building exercises, or even if you're not looking to build up any heat in your body, just give yourself 10 minutes, even 5 minutes or 3 minutes in this posture. But for the sake of time today, we're gonna move through them a little bit faster than I would normally do in my home practice, but you do what you can, because a little bit of yoga is better than none. Okay, now with where you are right now, see if you can lift your legs, maybe on the top of the chair, or if you can, hold on to the two legs of the chair in front of you. See if you can just like have your legs straight up in the air with a slight bend. Maybe you don't hold on to the chair, but maybe you just kind of use that front of the chair as like a border or a boundary for keeping your legs raised up. And don't straighten your legs, just keep a bend in your legs. And if it feels better to just have them leaned on the chair, please, by all means, lean them on the chair. We're just looking to increase that blood flow. This is an extremely relaxing posture. This is something that is so juicy to do before bed. If you cannot go to sleep, just put your legs up the wall. This is one of the most relaxing postures. And when you hold that, the bottom of the chair, it really just kind of helps you stay in that position. Now, from this, I'm so sorry guys, from this position, see if you can just keep one leg on the chair and keep one leg just raised above. So one leg is facing the ceiling and the other leg is just on the chair, whether it's on the back of the chair or on the seat portion of the chair. And just here, begin to, if your right leg is up, then it doesn't matter whether it's your right or your left. We're going to do both. Just gently create like these hip rotations in your legs. Just like move that leg bone in its socket. Go one direction and try to go slow. Try to really, really visualize right now. Use your mind
to visualize your leg bone in its socket, moving around in one direction. Feel it really anchoring into place, flushing out that hip joint, and then go the other direction. Keep breathing slowly in and out. Try to use your nose for in and out breaths. And when you're ready, you can put that foot down and then do the same thing with the other leg. Again, keep a slight bend in your knees. Really feel that leg bone anchored into its socket. Circles in one direction, circles in the other direction. Notice which one you did first. Did you go left, the lunar cycle of the moon, the yin cycle? Or did you go right, the solar cycle, the yang, the time through space, linear time? See where you're more comfortable. Are you more comfortable in the logical mind? Are you more comfortable in the void, the feminine void of creation, where all possibilities lie? Very good. Now when you're done, just go ahead and release your leg back down. Take a moment here to breathe. Feel your lower body. Notice if it feels more open than it did before this practice. Send your breath to anywhere that you feel tightness or uncomfortability. Just a couple more breaths here. You can go ahead and lift your hips up, remove that block, and we are going to go back down to sitting on the chair, but please take your time. And we're moving from up and down. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into butterfly pose while we're sitting on the chair. So bring a block in front of you. You can put it on its first setting, just like this. If you want more height, I do have more blocks. There's even blankets too if you want to raise it. But this is great if you feel tight getting into butterfly pose on the ground. This also allows you to get way deeper into your forward fold. So bring the soles of your feet together on top of, and if it's too close, like try to play around with the distance of the block from your mat, and also the distance of your booty on your chair. So like maybe you sit up a little bit more forward and you just have this instead of positioned right under you where it might be a little bit, this is gonna be a little bit too narrow. You're not gonna have as much space there. Put it a little bit further ahead of you. Perfect. Very good. And if, good, awesome. Now this is a posture where you can also use a strap to keep your feet together. And I'm gonna just show you what that looks like when you do that. So you end up having a very big loop. It's like an infinity loop. This is what you would do. And you would tighten. And you can do this on the ground anytime you're in butterfly pose. This is lovely to do. And if anybody wants to try, I do have some straps that you guys can try it out. So basically there's like a little bit of pressure here and it just forces kind of your feet to stay together and it's a lot easier on the legs. So do you want to, does anybody want to try doing that? You want to try? Okay. See how it gets set up. Put it over your feet. Tighten. Use props because your muscles are conditioned. If you do your practice based off of how you feel, you're always going to do what you know, and you're never going to get out of your own way. So the reason we use boundaries in yoga is to restructure our bones so that our muscles form in the right way. Because if we are out of balance, we need to realign our bones before our muscles align in the right way. So kind of a little bit different than what you normally hear. Okay. So from this position, again, notice if you're collapsing into your front body. Notice if you're sitting on your tail. Find that center. Lift from your pelvic floor. Feel that lengthening and that spaciousness created in your spine. Feel yourself almost like there's a string at the top, center of your head, and it's being pulled up, right? You're pulling your head back in space. It's almost like your chin is slightly tucked, your head is pulled back so that it is center, because a lot of us have, we're kind of conditioned to have our head forward, where we're constantly supporting our head up because we're hunched over, we're looking at screens and stuff. So we need to restructure our body, restructure our bones, and pull that head back in space. Really allow that head to be centered in our body so that it's floating, so that you're no longer using your muscles to hold up your head. You're just floating in space because you're working with the geometries of your body. You're working with your natural proportions. Now from here, maybe this feels good. But if you want to get deeper into your stretch, try to bring your hands just slowly closer to your feet and hinge at your hips. Hinge at your hips. So we're not hinging like this. We're not looking to go as deep as possible and round. I'm going to do it like this just so you guys can see. So hinging at the hips, you're sticking your butt out in space. It feels like your butt bones are pulling apart, and a part of you is always moving forward, a part of you is moving back. So slowly hinge at the hips. Again, doing not once you start curving your lower back, you have gone too far. Back off further. So if it's just sitting upright, that is perfect. That's where you are. And just slowly you can start to work down. Again, not sacrificing your alignment. You never sacrifice our alignment for depth. You never go deeper at the sake of the alignment of your body. And maybe you even get to the point where you're able to like tent your hands out in front of you. And again, making sure that we are hinging at the hips. So wherever you are, if you're here, just deep breaths. Slowly working down, slowly. Feel your hip bump, right? Where is your mind right now in your body? Shift your focus to the area that we're working right now. We're so conditioned to work in our over body and to overcompensate for our hips, where our hip is our strongest muscle. We need to learn how to work in our hips. When we learn how to work in our hips, we won't have back pain. We won't have all of the pains that we've normalized in our society. We're always creating space. Everything should be creating more space in your body. Feel your knees fall apart. Again, just making sure that you're not collapsing in the front of your body, you're lifting. Everything is lifted. Your butt is going back, but your head and your heart are moving forward. Deep breaths here. Deep breaths out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now slowly walk your hands back up your legs, back up to center. And we're going to do a couple twists here while we stay in butterfly pose. One hand is going to go on our right knee, and then our left hand is going to go on our right knee. Our right hand is going to go behind us on the chair. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to your hips. When we twist towards the right, your hip Look at what my hip wants to do. My hip naturally wants to turn with me, right? So we are going to fight against that. Keep your hips square and only turn your upper body. Just turn your upper body. So in your mind, what you're doing is you're visualizing pulling your right butt back in its position, pulling it forward, while your heart is shifting 90 degrees. Your heart is moving from facing forward, turning 90 degrees to the right, or that is the archetype that you're reaching for. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe it's only turning 10 degrees. That's okay. And your gaze will eventually turn 180 degrees behind you. So know that you're always trying to look 180 degrees behind you, and your heart should always be striving to make a 90-degree rotation. But keep your hips center. See if you can even move your sorry guys, I had a timer instead of I didn't want that to go off. So really breathe into the stretch that you're feeling. Breathe into your lung. Breathe into your right lung. Feel the rib cage. Keep pushing that right hip forward. Do not let it go back. It wants to go back. It's not going to go back. Good. Now release. And do the other side. Put your hand here. And you can also just, because for our arm bones, we're always looking, so our leg bones, we're always looking to turn our leg bones in postures. Our arm bones, we're always looking to open our arm bones up. So if you can, instead of holding on to your knee, you can take the back of your hand and have it go against your knee. So that way it's still like working on that opening. But if it feels more comfortable to hold it, just do wherever you are right now. And now your left hip is going to want to go backwards. So see if you can just visualize your left hip moving forward so that they stay at 3 and 9. Your hip bones are at 3 and 9. Your gaze is going to 9, or your heart is going towards 9 o'clock. Your eyes are going towards 6 o'clock behind you. If you're not there yet, just know that's where you're headed. Don't judge yourself where you are. Just know where you're going. It's not about achieving the biggest step, but it's about knowing what your body is designed to do. Good, now relax. Back to center. Very good, guys. While we're in this position, I wanted to do some breath work now. And then we're going to still do some more yoga poses. And then we'll get into the final part, which is our meditation sound bath, which is together. So while we're here, you can keep them in butterfly if you want. That is totally fine. Or go back to having them in front of you. But again, measure. If you're going to take them out of butterfly pose, make sure that you have 2 fists in between your knees, 2 fists in between the arches of your feet, that you're slightly pigeon-toeing your feet even when you're standing. When you're standing, when you're doing the dishes, when you're doing anything, always check your feet. What do they want to do? Can you fix them? Can you fix them back so that they're hip distance apart? Learn to stand in your hip joint. Okay. Roll your shoulder blades down your back. And don't hike them up. Pull your sternum back in space. So you're going forward and you're going backwards. Pull your sternum back. Lift from your pelvic floor. Keep that natural waves in your spine, the natural wave in your lower back, the natural wave of your neck. Now from here, you can keep your hands on your knees. We're going to sync our breath with essentially like some cat-cows. But this is going to stimulate the kidneys. Anytime we're moving in our hips, we're doing hip circles or we're moving back and forth in our hips, that's stimulating the water in our kidneys. That's like giving us more buoyancy, more pliancy, right? So on the inhale, arch your back forward, exhale, back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, use your whole spine. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Feel your whole spine moving with this. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Find your center again. Now we're going to go into some hip circles. So go in one direction, just move your hips in a circle. Inhale when your hips are moving in the front, and then exhale when they're in the back. Inhale, exhale. Go as slow or as fast as your heart desires. Notice what direction you're spinning in. Did you spin towards the right? Did you spin towards the left? So tell you where you're more comfortable in life. Do you need more logic in your life, or do you need a little bit more illogic? We need both. In life, we're working with polarities. The left is the lunar spin, so the left is going to be like the feminine, the void. It's non-linear. When you're going counterclockwise, when you're going clockwise, it's going to be like the time through the seasons, like, you know, linear time, right? So it's most people are going to be comfortable going right, most people. But what's that? Logical is going to be more associated with like the masculine yang energy, the solar energy. So that's going to be the clockwise. So if you're moving clockwise to the right, right? If you're moving to the left, that's more of the lunar spin. You never really like.
Probably the brain too. Right side's more logical, left side's more creative.
It's
Saturn also moves time clockwise is to the right. Saturn's a man.
Saturn is a man.
Saturn also rules time, and Saturn is a man, and clocks run to the right.
Yes, it's very. It's like the masculine archetype, right? It's like it's what we're comfortable with here in our human form. It's what our brains are used to, right? So it's like if you're comfortable, go to the right, go to the left. Do what you're uncomfortable in. See, this practice is about collecting data. You're collecting data with yourself. You're not judging yourself. You're just seeing where are you comfortable, where are you not? What is sticky for you? What is really strong for you? You normally blow out what you're really good at, and you underutilize what you're not good at. So find where you're sticky and just work on it. The left side is like the mother. The right side is the father. We need both. We need to go into the void. We have to go into the unknown. We will never grow if we don't go into the unknown. It is so important, but it is also important to have a plan, to execute our plan, to take action. You cannot put one over the other. It is impossible. It will only be in balance. So where do you need balance in your life? And this is going to change. This is going to change throughout your day. It's going to change throughout your seasons. And sync your breath with us. And now just return back to center. And now back to forward and back. Arch forward and back. Inhale, exhale. 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 Perfect, perfect. Now return back to center. Very good. Now we're going to move the energy up the body a bit. So like we did earlier, I want you to bring your hands, either if you're comfortable flipping your wrists, go ahead and give that a try. Where your middle fingers are in your armpits. Again, you're in between two sheets of glass, or have them like this. Either way, you're going to get a little bit of a wrist stretch here. Okay? Now we're going to be doing a breath. If you have high blood pressure, if you're pregnant, take it easy when we do the faster paced breath. Just go at a normal pace. That is right for you. You are in your body. You know what feels good. So just, yeah. So for this breath, we're going to go in and out. In and out. So it's going to be through the nose. In, out, 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 in, out. Now exhale out everything. Exhale, 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 exhale. Now we're gonna do a small breath retention. Feel that as you exhale, your diaphragm lifts up. There's almost a lifting happening in your pelvic floor, like it's tenting upwards. Let that lock happen in your pelvic floor. If you can lock, you're gonna almost like a Kegel exercise. Lock that energy. As soon as you exhale all of the air out on empty, lock your lower body. Now inhale only through into your lungs. Keep that lock in your pelvic floor and just inhale into the 360 degrees of your lungs. Feel the air expand the sides where your hands are touching your ribs. Feel your lungs expanding 360. And when you reach the top, keep your tongue at the roof of your mouth, really where you would say the word lovely, la, la, right at the roof of your mouth, in front of your front teeth, and just hold that lock while you're also holding your pelvic floor lock. And then just give yourself a second. And then when you are ready, go ahead and exhale. Take another breath. Bring your knees back, bring your hands back to your knees. We're gonna go back and forth, stimulating those kidneys again. In, out, 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 in, out. Use your spine. Feel in, out, in, out, in, out. Now find your center. Okay, the last breath that we're gonna do here, we're gonna move this energy even higher. So bring your hands aligned with your ears. Keep your hands open like cups. Like if grace was raining down on you, you'd be able to catch it in your hands, okay? So keep those opportunities open. Make sure that your arm bones are in line with your ears. They're not hyperextending it. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. Your arms are straight, but there's a slight bend. You're not hyperextending. Keep them next to your ears. We're developing stamina in this practice. We do things past where it's comfortable. That is how we read the medicine of anything that we do. So here we're going to be doing a Kapalabhati breath. That is going to feel like out, 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 out. The inhale is passive. You're going to be exhaling out through your nose, so it's going to be... This is going to clear out that heart. Out, 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 Return back to normal breath through your nose, in and out. Check back in with your stance. Are you still lifting from your pelvic floor? Are you still drawing that line from the universe, through your skull, through your throat, through your torso, through your perineum, down to the center of the earth? Have you lost that center? If so, don't judge, just fix it. You know what to do. Now we're gonna end this breathwork practice by visualizing the moon. So to put this visual in your mind, right under your perineum is the new moon. It's the black moon. And when you inhale, you're gonna watch the moon wax in front of your body, all the way up until she is full, in her full glory, right above your head. This is the full moon. And on the exhale, you're gonna visualize her waxing behind you, or waning behind you, all the way back down to your perineum, where she's back at the dark new moon. And we're gonna pause just slightly when we're at the new moon, the bottom of her perineum, and at the full moon, the top of her head. We're just gonna pause slightly through our breath. So together, let us inhale, visualize the moon rising up the front of your body, getting fuller and fuller and fuller and fuller. And when she is right above your head and she is full, you watch her brightly as you just hold your breath. And then exhale as she wanes behind your back until she is dark. And again, breathing in, watching the moon as she gains more and more of her color until she is full right above your head, right above your crown. Feel her fullness above your crown chakra. Pause here for a moment as your breath is full. And now exhale, slowly releasing back down, and watch the moon wane back down until she is dark, dark moon. One more time. Breathing in, visualizing the moon expanding into the full moon above your head. And then exhale, watch the moon wane behind you until she is new and dark, at her most yin, the winter of the season. And then return back to normal.
Very good, guys. Okay. So I want to build a little bit of heat in our body. I want to work in our hips. So we're going to use the chair right now to get into some lunge poses. So if you have, you want to unbuckle that strap. So if you guys have a mat in front of you, that is okay because your front foot could actually benefit from the increased height on the mat. But just make sure that either maybe you push your mat forward, because what we're going to be doing, there's a couple different ways. Now this opening, there are yoga chairs out there that don't have a back, but this does have a little bit of a back. So I'm going to give you two options because before you guys attempt it. We're going to be doing a lunge, but we are going to be utilizing the chair in a lunge pose because so often people are not aligning their hips in lunge poses and not really working in the hip joint. So utilizing a chair, whether you're already proficient in your hips or not, is an excellent way to really improve your practice and get in touch with your hip joint. So if you're able to slide your leg forward, you can get into a lunge pose here. What we're looking to do is make sure that our back leg is not collapsing and that it is getting equal tension, like your toes are, the weight is almost on your big toe. But what you're doing is you're making sure, like right now, your pelvic floor is butting up against the front of the chair so you can feel that your hips are aligned, right? And if there is, if you need more height, you can always put a block. And just so you know, it might be hard getting in and out of this. You can also use the chair on its side because you want to be very careful getting out of this. You can use the chair on its side and just do it like this if that is easier and you don't want to put your leg through the hole. So if that's easier, just turn it the other way. And if you'd like, if you still have a block or if you have the height from your mat. Now, for you guys, if you don't mind doing it the other way because no, that's okay, actually. You guys are good. Just try to keep that back leg more straight and see if you can bring this top leg into a straight here and try to straighten that leg behind you. Try to straighten the leg behind you. So we're using the chair as a boundary, but this is still a very demanding posture. You're working in your hip joint. This is gonna feel like a lot. So this isn't just a totally relaxed pose. If you need a little bit of a heel on the front, use a block if your leg doesn't reach, but try. You tend to collapse to the front of your, what we're working on here is lifting. There's still gonna be an arch in your lower back, but fight against, move that, your left leg over. Move that left leg over so that your feet are your right leg, sorry, move your right leg over to the right. Yeah, and then move that left leg back so your back leg is on your tiptoes. Your front leg is either flat on the ground or it's also on its tiptoes. That's totally fine. And you are going to get into, keep that back leg straight back leg. Even if you need to hold on to the sides of the chair, this is a lot. So give yourself grace. Try to keep yourself centered. Use the front of the chair as your guide so that your hips are aligned, so that your hips aren't out of whack. And just feel what it feels like to be in your hip. This lift up. Try not to collapse into your front body. Lift up from your pelvic floor. Lift up from here. This is the hardest part, is lifting. This gets you into your hip joint because otherwise you're just collapsing. Or you're too far back into your lower back and that's gonna cause too much strain. So just breathe here. Breathe into any discomfort you might feel. If you need as well, what we can do is have a boundary. A little bit at an angle. Your hips square.
Okay. We just got positioned in this posture. Just breathe one more deep breath in before we switch to the other leg. Kind of twist a little bit, maybe towards the right. Bring the left foot flat on the ground. Use the chair as leverage as you slowly get your right leg out of there. Slow and steady. And I'll come back around and help you with the block to get into that position. And if that was too difficult, just flip the chair like this. You don't have to put your foot through the hole. You can always do it like this as well. What's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, here, let me help you guys with the block. So really give yourself a second. Give yourself a second. You want to even, you gotta sometimes play around with the height on here because there's a mat. So it just makes it a little bit more. You guys. Breathe into the hip. Breathe into the hip. Notice where it feels sticky. Notice if this side feels more sticky. This side feels more sticky to me. So just really feel the difference. Try to keep your hips aligned with that front of the chair. Try to keep your foot, your legs straight behind you. Make sure that it is hip distance apart, that you're not like your leg going too far to the left or too far to the right. There's equal pressure on the balls of your feet, maybe a little bit more pressure on your big toe mound, but just feel that. Feel yourself lifting. Like you're still gonna feel this in your legs, even though we have a chair, but this is the best way to learn how to get into a lunge, because doing it without a chair is very demanding. This is already very demanding. Just let's take one more deep breath in and out. Slowly, you can bring your right foot to the ground. Oh, and now, just for a moment, you can bring your forearms on the chair, maybe clasp your hands, and just stretch. Maybe even moving your feet up and down, just like. Try to hinge at your hips here, and just stretch your body. Very good. All right, slowly rise up. Okay, we're just gonna do a one squat posture before we tone this all down and get back on the ground. Okay, so When we're working on getting into a squat pose, we're gonna do all of the things that we learned earlier, we're gonna apply here. We wanna make sure that our feet are hip distance apart. So you can bring your big toe to your inner heel and pivot at the heel. That is gonna give you the exact same measurement as 2 of your fists in between the arches of your feet. So look at your feet. Are they 2 fists? Bring your big toes in just slightly, your pigeon toeing just slightly, so your ears are a little out, your big toes are a little bit in. Your second toes are parallel with each other, parallel with the sides of your mat. There's a slight bend in your knees. You're always don't knock your knees in, and don't have them too far apart. See if you can keep that distance. Your leg bones are turning into the center line. Opens up your sacral plate, opens up your pelvic floor. Right, just find that centeredness. Now, we're gonna be going into a squat. So what we're doing in a squat position is we're hinging at the hips, and we're not gonna go all the way down unless you can comfortably actually go all the way down without getting any wrinkles in the front of your ankles. That's how you know you're going a little bit too deep. So we're gonna be, you can even move your hands a little bit like forward, and a part of you is moving forward and a part of you is moving back. You're hinging at the hips. So there's a chair way back behind you that you're trying to sit in, but again, you're not collapsing like this. Look how different this is. We're not doing this, we're not doing this. So again, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. We're lifting, we're hinging perfectly at the hips. So you're lifting from the pelvic floor. There's still a wave in your lower back. If there is not an arch in your lower back, then you're collapsing into your lower back. So keep that arch in your lower back. Now, notice where your weight is in your feet. Is your weight in the heels of your foot? That's where normally we tend to stand in our memories. So we're gonna learn how to shift forward into the balls of our feet. So feel, this is very subtle. This is something you're gonna have to think about and feel the shift in your body. Feel the energy as it shifts forward to the balls of your feet versus in the heels. Maybe you're even going back and forth. Feel your butt bones coming apart. You're still hinging at the hips. You can also use the chair. Measure yourself again. Get in, and you can even use the chair to hold on to. That way, you're learning how to go towards the front of your body. A lot of times when people aren't able to get on squats, they have a tendency to want to sit on height. But I challenge you, instead of sitting on height, tilt your weight forward, hold on to something in front of you, even if you're lower and you need to put blocks on the floor, or use maybe you're able to hinge lower, keep your knees bent, always keep your knees bent. Eventually what's gonna happen, this is what you're reaching for. Your torso is the exact same length as your thigh bone. Eventually, you're gonna be able to fit your knee in your armpit, just like a glove in a mitt, and you won't lose that arch in your back, but you're gonna have to bend your knees, but maybe you're not there yet. Know that that's where you're headed, right? So maybe you're right here, maybe you're still right here. That's okay. Wherever you are, where you're not losing the arch of your back. So use a chair as leverage. So, again, measure yourself, bring the chair in front of you, and just feel yourself in your hip joint. Breaths. And when you're ready, you can stand back up. You're going to feel that heat in your body. Feel a lot of heat coming through your body. Really good. For the sake of time, I'm not going to necessarily have you do this, but another thing that is amazing to do, we'll do this maybe in another class. Practicing with a chair is your dog pose. A lot of times people do their dog pose and they collapse into their lower back. So this is a perfect way to learn how to be in your hips. Keep a bend in your knees. So this is another thing that you can work on. If you feel like trying it out right now, feel free. But the chair is phenomenal. You can use it in so many different ways to get into postures that are normally too difficult. And if it's too high, you can have 2 blocks underneath your hands. If you need blocks or anything. It might feel weird in the beginning, but tent your hands, tent your fingers on the ground. Feel that fold in your hip joint.
Keep a bend in your knees. Don't have your heels on the ground. Make sure that your heels are elevated. You're on your tippy toes. You're on your tippy toes in dog all the time. I know a lot of times it is taught to put your feet flat on the ground. I will never teach it that way. So keep your knees slightly bent. And just, you should almost feel no weight on the front of your body. Everything should feel like it is in your hip joint. You can even start playing around with taking one hand over to the kidney side, and then this also allows you to stay aligned in your hips. And you can play around with the other hand. This is a great way to practice your three-legged dog. This is a very challenging posture, and normally when people do three-legged dog, their hip likes to hike all the way up, but when you practice on a chair, you can ensure that your hips stay in alignment. You'll understand what it feels like in your body when your hips are aligned. So in this practice, we're always using support. We're always using anything that we can to restructure our bones, which in turn will restructure our muscles, because our muscles form around our bones. So something to play around with. Most of us have a chair. Play around with the chair. I like that everybody is in a child's pose, so let us actually move the chair out of the way and let's get into a child's pose. Let's go inward. Take your block in child's pose, even, and just sit on it. You can sit on it. And you can go down. Something I like to do is almost tent my hands in front of me. Really feel that expansion in your spine. Make sure that the weight of your feet is on your pinky toe side of your foot, not on the big toe side when your feet are in this position. So it's evenly distributed, but it's mainly, all of your toes are on the ground, but the weight is going to be on the pinky toe side of your feet. So just notice. Deep breaths in and out. We can go into our final resting posture. We're just going to do like a 10-minute meditation because we have gone over in time, of course. I'm really trying here to keep us on track. Okay. So, everybody, find yourself laying down. Anybody need a blanket? These are all washed, clean blankets. Need one? You got one? Blanket? Oh, you got one. Oh. Blanket? You sure? Yeah. Blanket? I love getting cozy in a blanket. I know our yoga flow is very dynamic, moving chairs around.
Hopefully we were able to feel into our hips. Now I encourage you just to take deep breaths here. Check back in with yourself. Every time you breathe is a moment for you to recommune with yourself and your breath, your prana, your life force. We started off slow, we built up heat in our body, and then we're winding down. We played a lot in the waters of our kidney, we played a lot in our hip joint. Parts of our body and see if you can just bring your inner awareness to the area that I mentioned. And every time you hear this body part, just relax that body even further. Starting with your right eye, your left eye, in between both your eyes. Just relax the muscles around your eyes. Relax
visualize now an upgraded experience for yourself. In your ideal world, how do you feel around your loved ones? What emotions arise when they are in your presence? What is the feeling you are looking to embody? Feel it in your body. What does joy feel like in your body? Spaciousness, freedom. What does your ideal world look like? Try not to spend so much time in the mind. What does it feel like? What is the feeling you want to embody more of in this vessel? Breathing in joy, hope, faith. Maybe you affirm to yourself, I trust in my inner guidance. I trust my intuition. I am a powerful creator. I have the power to shift my reality. I am confident in all circumstances, even when I do not know how events will unfold. I align myself with my soul and divine will. Breathe in intuition. Breathe out intuition. Feel where intuition resides in your body. returning back to the present moment. Whenever you are ready, you can slowly turn over to your side, whichever feels best for you, and just sit in a fetal position for just a moment before you fully open your eyes and return back to a seated position. But please take your time here. Do not rush out of this. Let yourself embody all that you brought with you from your practice. 4 dings for the number 4 day that we have on the 13th day. Welcome back, everybody. I'm ashamed to admit that I did not stick to my goal. Not even close. I am so, so sorry. You guys can let me know what it is you prefer for me to shorten so we can keep this more feasible, because I'd love to be able to see your faces more often, and I know that when it drags out late it can make it a little bit harder for people to come. So I'm very sorry. But for us to end this practice, I think we just needed a little extra time. I want you guys, if you'd like, to just write one thing you want to see manifest in your life. We're just gonna observe in the whole room. And this will be your last thing to seal in all the business. Anything that you borrowed from the studio, just leave there. Don't follow it. Anything you want to see, just put everything there. Anybody need a pen? Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. What? Oh, thank you so much. I need to be better in this 3D reality where I stick to a time limit. Thank you guys. I know it's a Monday night. And anybody? Okay. I'm gonna light a little candle in here. Or if you guys, we're just gonna do a candle. We're gonna just burn it in the candle. And if you'd like, what I would suggest, okay, there's a little clip here. So what you're gonna do, let me write a wish. Be as specific as you can be with what you want to bring in. And you can hold it like that, like Roger did, or you can just hold it with the tongs and just watch her burn. You're gonna write something that you want to manifest, something that you, a wish, so to say. So you're gonna write it in present tense. So I have a beautiful relationship with my family. I have limitless abundance. Right, whatever it is that you're looking to bring in, write it very specifically. I make $30,000 every week. Whatever it is, right? Write it down. And burn it. Feel her come to fruition. Be specific. Work in the present tense. We are learning to shift into positive thinking. Positive thinking. Present tense thinking. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, you guys. You know, next time I'm gonna have like some paper, or you know, if anybody wants to like submit anonymous
requests for what they would like to see more of in a class, what they want less of. Maybe we get right into the yoga. We don't chat. Instagram poll. Yes, 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 yes. That would be awesome. So yeah, check in maybe the Shopee page in the next day or so. I'd love to hear your feedback so we can make this better and better experience for everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks so much. Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Again, I'm so sorry. See, if we had an activity, we'd be here till midnight. So, this is an express class. Oh, I know. Brace yourself. You'll definitely wake up. The schedule has not been posted yet for the next classes, but they will be very soon, and I'm sure you guys will get a text from the studio for the next one on the books. And again, look out for the poll so we can make this a better experience for everybody. What's that? Oh, yes. I just saw it. No, somewhere. Oh, she has a box. Yeah. They should take a picture of the box. Which one did you get? A card, yes, something lurking. You know, and that's actually an interesting theme right now because something I didn't really bring up a lot today is a lot of truth is going to come to light right now. We're going to get a lot of clarity to the energy that we're feeling, a lot of things coming out of the darkness, right? And it's for good. We can see it as like, oh, bad, but it could be something amazing. Like, why do we have to think about it in such a way, right? So it's like we can shift. That's all. I love that. So you have to yeah, I love that. Honestly, that's what we need, and it's like it's hard, you know, especially when we've been told not to feel that way because you know we're told to be logical. You have to think of all the, you know, the possibilities and all of that in the wrong way. But anyway, she just wants to take a picture of the shark one, if that's okay. I'll look for it. It's basically, it's gonna be in the, so shark is a water card, so you look for, it's not in alphabetical order, it's, give me 1 second, here it is, okay. You did? You're absolutely right. Thank you for that. I don't know why that does take a lot of time because it's just, you just think it's being alphabetical order. She is. Thank you so much. I said it. Oh, well, okay. My suggestion is about alcohol practice. What are you doing? Make sure you're giving yourself that space. What are you doing when you first wake up? What are you doing when you first wake up? What do you do right before you go to sleep, right? Start cultivating that stillness, especially in those like simple times of our day when we're very impressionable. When you wake up in the morning, give yourself 5 minutes, just quiet your mind, listen to yourself, do a meditation, learn to do a yoga flow. The yoga that I practice is called yoga. Crystals that you don't need anything. Ultimately,
from this experience, right? It's just like the tools that we choose to lean on to take us out of our program. So, sound healing, cards. I'm a big believer that like oracle cards and people really like tarot. I really like the spirit animal deck. That's the other deck that I play with. Sometimes I'm just curious, like, what the spirit will tell me? What's the energy that I'm embodying right now? Because sometimes we're a little bit blind to it. So using the clues of your existence, question things, question why you do things, right? And do it from a place of love, because you're not a being that needs to be fixed. You are whole. You are just searching for more about yourself. You're searching about yourself for other people. You're searching about yourself within yourself, right? And there's so many of these tools that are going to start popping up, especially this year. I think that this is going to be something that more people are going to embody because we're collectively moving into this energy of like realizing the importance of having a practice, the importance of tapping into this other part of us, right? A magical part of us, you know? So connect with the people that fill you up, connect with the people that inspire these thoughts within you. Try to limit your interactions. Classes like this, you know? Classes, any sort of like, I mean, shop people mess up anytime you're in class here. So I would love to tell you to just see your classes, but there are, you know, find something that really speaks to you. Is it music that you really love? I always find that like studying the body is so because the body influences the parts of our mind that we're not willing to address. Because there's things that are from our subconscious or our childhood that we don't even logically know that they're doing us, right? So when we create that space in our body, then we give ourselves that time. You will find yourself naturally with that frequency. Trust that when you elevate your frequency, it will be inevitable that you will
Let me get up and say hi.
match already of
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Frequency and you're going to be not
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Such a great job on social media. So.
Oh, thanks.
I feel like I need this.
You
I got here, so. Well, you know, we love her.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, she's really awesome. Awesome. Hope to see you at the next one.
You know,
Yeah.
really. So many little people.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Limit how focus on limit, you know, screen time, things like that, things that take your attention. Try to really cater what
Pleasure to meet you. Yeah, I try to, you know, when I'm available, I do.
Don't look at things that bring you down. So that can be entertaining.
Oh, I hope you do. Charles, I love that. So.
There are people that, you know, even the internet is a beautiful thing for you to utilize, but just find those right pockets.
I mean, yeah, they have UVA. There's a lot of like libraries and stuff.
Kara, I'm Tina, and I'm sorry I'm not. It was so nice to have you. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't bring on the show. I would do it. I love it. Perfect. I don't want to find out. Yeah, I don't mind you. Oh, please do. Please do.
See you out there sometime. Yeah, well, every Friday, Saturdays. I got a club spots in the week, so.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I love it. I love seeing you. It's like,
Yeah, I love them.
The worst things.
Yeah, not the worst.
so much.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, the other classes will get posted up. I know the biggest times for sure.
I don't like so.
I love the shop. The more I came
Likewise.
seeing me, I was like, I get home and, you know, I can't wait to get out home sometimes. Like, I need to be out talking to people. I mean, it's, obviously, I have to be out. I'm so good. I mean, I try to convert myself. I used to be introverted, but I'm like, let me be extroverted. Yeah, ask her. When she met me, I was introverted. I was definitely super introverted. Now she's switched. Like, she used to be more extroverted, and now she's more introverted. I've been the opposite. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I love that. That's so funny. But I can see that energy. I can see it. Thank you so much. Have a good night, you guys. Take care.
came and we got to meet Roger. He exists. She was questioning our existence.
I'm down. She's like, you're introverted. She said you're introverted.
I'm introverted?
I told her I used to be introverted when we first met, but now I'm more extroverted. I told her I'm extroverted. Now I try to be. She didn't believe that I've ever been introverted.
Oh, well,
that he's really not. He was introverted when you met him?
Yeah, I feel so.
See,
I
that's.
don't know. He's introverted in a very different way. Your energy is introverted. Scorpio is not. It's very, it has a presence. We have a lot of sad. We have a lot of sad. I don't feel you're introverted, honestly. I don't feel you're introverted. I think you might not talk a lot all the time, but you're not introverted. You don't have to talk.
You got an extroverted energy for sure.
Yeah, I try now.
I've never felt you fully like introverted like that.
That's good.
That fire really wanted to go. Wow, okay. Now everybody here is everyone here is
It's not a cop.
everyone here is what? So everyone here is not a cop. Are you down? Okay, cool. I got it all up here. Hey, Roger, is there any way you could grab her? I'm so sorry to ask.
Yeah, in
Can you?
front. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Is
we're
it
gonna
not
take
something?
down.
Oh,
I grabbed the boxes for you.
yeah, I should probably
How
put
can we
it.
help you?
You can end it.
Okay, we'll see. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining our first full moon of 2025, the Cancer full moon here at Shakti Rising. Moon Mystics, join me for a ceremony. We're gonna try to keep it shorter because, woo, 141 minutes. And we said we was gonna only do like 80 minutes. So we're really off track there. So I tried, you guys. Goodbye.
Oh, no, no one wants it to end.
I really tried.
I mean, it's been just a short period of time.
It's just hard, you know, it's just so